but I decided I wanted to play some more before I started work this morning. So dang it, here I am at 4 o'clock in the morning. Gonna do a quick, not quite 2-hour session because I have to start work at 6. But figured we might as well see how much more we could get. Also, I have my collector's edition bonuses. I have my new 6-legged horse mount that cannot fly, but it exists. And also my new minion, my Porum. Also I have a scythe, but I can't show that off yet. Okay, let's talk to Julius. You said your farewells, have you? Not quite yet. Magni? The lowly task of keeping watch over provisions would not normally befit the sun, but these being unusual circumstances, I will let no man take that which is not by right theirs. I literally just woke up, so that's why my voice is probably a little bleh. Perhaps it is unwise to volunteer for a mission so soon after the previous disaster. Nevertheless, I shall not squander this opportunity. I know, this won't bring back Licinia or her sister. Taking the same risks, making the same mistakes, it's possible, but better to try than to give up. Every time. We captured the boy as he was about to make off with our food. He must be very hungry to take such risks. Maybe we should give him something to eat. Reward him for his boldness. Oh, Cyrena, you have always been a sweetie. Julius Norbanus. It is unusual for one so young to achieve such a high rank. Very unusual. His uniform identifies him as a member of the 1st Legion, which has a particularly fierce reputation. Whoever his superior may be, I advise you to approach them with caution. So my friend just logged out, so apparently he decided to do a late night session as well. They are resilient in the face of hardship, you as well. But good intentions and stubborn determination alone will not be enough to bring our mission to a successful conclusion. Be on your guard. Stola? I worry they were not in the best state of mind to volunteer for this undertaking, but what's done is done. I know you will take good care of them, and yourself as well, I trust. Hold on. I spy a Stenian's dad over here. Hello, Albrecht. Several of the Temple Knights are off on reconnaissance at present. We Ishgardians have seen our fair share of frost in the past years, so we are more than ready for this icy bout. The Hrothgars from Baja, on the other hand, are having a devil of a time adjusting to these chilly climes. The warming stones we have lent them seem to have helped, though. Oh, come on, they have all that fur. All that fur can help them stay warm. I say that, but I'm freezing my tail off out here. You will be received as invited guests, and so I urge you to observe proper social etiquette and conduct yourselves properly. Your safe return takes precedence above all else, remember this. Thancred, in particular, will be worried sick if you're gone too long. May the Fury watch over and keep you. Are you and the children ready? I will explain the route once we are outside your camp. If anyone attempts to follow us, we will judge it an act of hostility. We will not hesitate to take appropriate measures. I would expect nothing less. You have our full cooperation. Where do you think their headquarters are? I assume there are a few others beside him and this commander he mentioned. Let's say again. Alpha no. We will only do as instructed. After all, this is what we've been striving for ever since we arrived. Alright, this is far enough. Listen carefully. We head over that hill, then follow the road until we reach Liminal Station 4. Children in the lead. I want you where I can see you. We do have names, you know. I'm Alice and he's Alphino. And last but not least, there's Shallan. Shallan, where have I heard that before? No matter. Alphino and Alice will watch the road ahead while we bring up the rear. I wasn't lying about there being many dangers, so you're to run, not saunter, run toward the station. If you even think about going for your weapon, the deal's off. Should any creatures bar the way, we go around them. Once you depart, Julius will accompany you. Alphino and Alice will begin moving toward their destination. Make your way there without falling behind. Don't leave Julius behind. Ready for a dash to the station. Okay, let's go. Do not draw your weapon, no matter what. Do not get hit by enemies. Well, you can get hit by enemies, but just don't fight them. I mean, it is ice. I mean, surely y'all have had icy streets in Charlotte, and it does snow there. Hopefully that thing won't see us. Why is he wearing his gunblade at his side? You wear your gunblade on your back, bud. Oh, the thing noticed me. Alright, well, just keep running. Alright, made it. It's nothing like the ones in Thanalan. Oh, those things. Or, I don't even... Oh, the train stations. Right, we're here, I think. Yeah, the train stations in Thanalan are kind of puny compared to this. This is it, the first stop, that is. Good, it looks like your friends knew better than to follow us. Are these your headquarters? No, we're stopping here so I can check for pursuers. Since it appears you've kept to your side of the bargain, we can carry on. I wonder what sort of conditions Julius and his comrades are living in. If they've any sense, they've picked somewhere like Victor's Spoils to take shelter. We're getting closer to the Imperial Palace, if one can still call it that. It truly is a terrifying sight to behold. North of the station is Regio Domorum, one of the main residential areas, or at least it was. The afflicted roam the streets in packs. They'll tear us to shreds if given the chance. Keep close, no wandering off, understood? Shoes should still be fine. Let's put those shoes on this. Okay. From here, we'll be heading northeast, keeping to the left of the railway. While the route itself is straightforward, getting past the hordes unseen is anything but. Keep your weapons at the ready. They would attack their own countrymen? Aye, they spare their own but slaughter the rest without hesitation. Though we'll try to avoid detection, the cases of sneaking by are completely unnoticed are slim at best. I will lead the way, but in the event we are seen, you are to fight them off. Those two will follow, provided they can refrain from drawing their weapons. While I doubt they would be foolish enough to stab their guide in the back, I will not take that chance. With that said, let us proceed. Alright, since we don't have to run... Damn it, we're perfectly capable of holding our own. We must stay alert. I see why your comrades chose you. Julas, our contingent has a cure for the afflicted, or tempered, as we call them. Your people would need to be taken into custody that we may administer the treatment, but they would eventually regain their sanity. Is that so? For all I know, your treatment would simply force them to forsake one master for another. As far as I and my legion are concerned, they are no longer our people, beyond saving. Those who thought differently and tried to reason with them were butchered for their bleeding hearts. Come, we must keep moving. I hate to watch you bear this burden alone. Looks like we're not being followed. We will continue onward. Leave me alone, ice trap. The surest way to limit casualties is to reach our destination without drawing attention to ourselves. Perhaps afterward we can try again to convince Julius that the tempered can be saved. He truly believes there's nothing that can be done for them. No wonder he isn't afraid to get his hands dirty. I meant what I said. These people deserve only death. I stayed my hand before only out of a desire to remain undiscovered, and that is still the higher priority. We should continue to avoid unnecessary confrontations. Keep following the railway. knows what happened to those Imperials we saw in the tower. Such a transformation is likely irreversible. To think these were once ordinary people. Look at what they have become. Would you still stand there and claim that they can be cured? Those exposed to a vast quantity of a primal Aether may suffer severe corruption. Even with treatment, such victims are beyond salvation. Then you admit it. Now that you have seen these monstrosities for yourself, perhaps you will think twice before speaking of a cure. Though I wish there was another way, I thank you for keeping us from harm. Even here in the outskirts, it's plain to see how vastly different Garlemald is compared to other cities. We're almost there. You have kept your side of the agreement, so I will keep mine this way. Aha! That's the way to get to that Aether, right? This is Tertium, one of Garlemald's largest stations. It now serves as our headquarters. I've already sent the twins ahead. I will be with you soon, so wait for me at the bottom of the stairs. This reminds me of Fallout. Aether is not responding. Also, a little bit of the FF7 remake. But I think I see how we enter the next dungeon. No one wants to talk to me. However, there's apparently someone here you can play Triple Triad with eventually. Alright, so same story. No one wants to talk to me. And I miss talking to Alice. Oh well. It's plain to see why they chose this as their base of operations. It could have been a lot worse. Even so, I imagine it's not the easiest place to live. Indeed, and if Julius was willing to make the perilous journey to Camp Broken Glass in search of food, their own supplies must be all but exhausted. They may be shielded from the wind and snow, but it's still bitterly cold. Much like Victor's spoil, it must be a constant struggle to keep their people warm. Lower your voices. While you may be here as my guest, the others will not take kindly to your presence. My commander is in the locomotive over there. He certainly looks the part. I can't see him through the chocobos. Now comes the true test. Imposing commander. I will deal with you in a moment.
These are their chosen representatives.
Very well. Let us hear what they have to say.
Yes, sir. I present to you our commander, Lord Quintus Vankina, Legatus of the First Legion.
Quintus.
The first? I had no idea you had survived.
We lost our emperor, our city, more than half our troops. From my wounds, I may never take the field again. But we survived, aye. In a manner much to your liking, I dare say.
We have no intention of adding to your misfortunes, nor do we bear you any ill will.
Spare me. Though you children may speak in earnest, overtures of peace ever ring hollow in my ears. So long as man stands to profit from his neighbor's suffering, war is inevitable. Driven from our ancestral homeland into this blasted waste. Yet still you yearned to rob us of our paltry scraps. 'Twas only with Magitech that you learned to keep your distance. Though we knew it was only a matter of time before you regrouped and returned. Conquest and empire were our only defenses. Emperors Solus and Varus understood this, and through their campaigns saw us grow and prosper. Much blood has been spilled in Garlemald's name, aye. But if it is a choice between yours and mine, then it is hardly a choice at all.
I do not deny that a great many conflicts throughout history were driven by the desire or necessity to gain by another's loss. That is not why we are here. Nor have we come to petition your aid in the war with the Telophoroi, grave though that threat may be. Our purpose is simply this. We wish to help you. Let us help you. If there is aught that can be done to ease your plight, we would be glad to do it.
Perhaps you would. But regardless of the ideals you espouse, your leaders would not send an army into Garlemald if they did not stand to benefit. If we accept their aid, they will expect their efforts to be rewarded once the Telophoroi are no longer a threat. And after compensation and concessions, the great empire would be brought to heel. Her enemies rejoice at her downfall. Our third eye, a mark of shame.
We won't stand idly by and let your people be humiliated. And we're not alone in that. We only want to make a difference. To make this world of ours better. Surely you can understand that. What I'm trying to say is, there are so many people who just don't care about making you suffer. And maybe that's almost insulting after all the suffering you feel the world has subjected your people to, but believe it or not, that's the truth. And now we're here, and all we're asking is for you to tell us what you want, what you hope for.
So much blood has been shed, so much lost. All because of this endless war. Who wouldn't want to end it? Can we not work together to face our problems as one?
Answer me this, young peacemakers. If a world without conflict is your desire, why reject the unity and prosperity of Garlemald? Is it because we do not share your faith? That we do not share your heritage? That our ideals and virtues differ? That we cherish and hold in the highest that which you do not? Disparity is the root of discord, and peace built on compromise is flawed and fleeting. Happiness for one and all is a dream, and the reality is that to the victor go the spoils. That is why we Garleans will never submit nor surrender. For freedom and for pride, we will remain true to ourselves until the bitter end. That is my hope. It seems there is nothing more to say on the matter. You will remain here while I decide what is to be done with you. Do not be alarmed. No harm will come to you if you cooperate.
We will not resist. However, as your guests, I ask that we be allowed to speak with the other members of your group.
As you wish. I had no intention of locking you up, as by dawn you would be frozen stiff and you're no good to me dead. You are free to move about the encampment, but there is one condition. Collar them.
Putting some sort of magitech device on them? Are you putting one on me?
What are these?
Incentive. You'll be watched at all times. Stray too far or act suspiciously, and we will administer a rather painful shock. Stop. Keep away from that one.
Huh?
The champion of Eorzea is not so easily cowed.
Right. Y'all know me, don't you?
Even if she allowed herself to be collared, the shock would be no more than an itch. No. If she refuses to obey, we will activate the twins' restraints instead.
You needn't worry about us.
We'll forget we're even wearing them soon enough.
Even now, you still... Why go to such lengths? What is it all for?
Even the most bitter adversary may one day see reason.
You are a curious one. A far cry from the merciless barbarian others paint you to be. You will be their warden. Take them away.
Yes, sir.
Are they still not going to talk to us? While everything above ground is in complete ruins, this station has so far escaped more or less unscathed. It's far from the ideal place to live, but I'd prefer to take my chances down here than up there. Can we attend to this yet? Nope. Okay. It will take more than a trifle such as this to deter us. Compared to what Garlemald's people have suffered in recent days, these colors are a minor inconvenience. I have to remind myself not to touch it, even if it starts to itch. I'd rather not set it off by accident. Anyway, enough of that. Let's learn what we can from the refugees. As per Lord Quintus's instructions, I am to supervise you during your time here in Tertium. Before you ask, no, I don't have a key or any other means to remove your collars, nor would I tell you if I did. If you try anything, you'll soon wish you hadn't. So, do you truly intend to speak with the others, or was that merely a ruse? We are in no hurry to disobey Lord Quintus, if that's what you mean, or perhaps you doubt the wisdom of his decision. Do as you will, but remember, I'll be watching. If I catch wind of you doing anything untoward, trying to trick our people into turning their coats and the like, those shock colors will be the least of your worries, understood? Though we were somewhat compromised, to put it lightly, let's not waste this opportunity. I suggest splitting up and learning what we can of their situation. Above all else, do not use magic of any sort. You, on the other hand, may go wheresoever you wish, even outside the camp. I know full well I couldn't stop you if I tried. But don't forget, if you do anything to endanger us or our interests, Alphino and Alice will pay the price. So cold. This young soldier is on the verge of losing consciousness. How much stuff do you people actually even have? Material here stored is the property of the First Legion. If you think we'd share it with the likes of you, you're very much mistaken. Okay. Have to earn their trust, as we do everywhere else in the world. I know who you are, the so-called champion of Eorzea. Come to gloat, have you? I'll wipe that smirk off your face. By the blood of our fallen compatriots, I swear I'll... Ugh. Damn. Tore the sutures. Of all the times, the worst of the lot within striking distance, and I can't even muster the strength. If it weren't for the third bleeding us, we'd be the end of you. Regilia's treachery nearly cost Lord Quintus his life, but we made our escape. Took shelter in a mansion, tended to the wounded as we prepared to strike back, and then night fell and we gathered around the radio, and then the roar, the terrible roar. The capital was in chaos, but we were spared. All you can tell, if you can call this a mercy, mind intact but body broken, a soldier in name alone. I'd cut you down where you stand if I could, murderer. The radio seems the same model as the one used at Victor's spoils. Perhaps it is what saved the soldiers here from being tempered. So cold. Probably hasn't had a proper meal in days. If only we'd brought food with us, but perhaps I could use a little magic to... No, I mustn't. Gods, this is so frustrating. Is there aught we may do to ease your woes? Alice always talking to herself, and Alphino's always talking to others. You came with Julius, didn't you? Well, whatever business brought you here, you'd best keep your hands off the Aetheryte. It's deactivated, but I'd rather you didn't mess about with it. There are others throughout the city, built by the Garleans for Garleans. Could teleport all over in the blink of an eye, provided there was a terminal nearby. These days, however, we use the Aetheryte's power to keep this place lit, though it comes at the cost of its normal function. It's you, Shalon Renage. I served under Lord Gaius in the 14th Legion. I was there on the night the Praetorium fell. You and your adventurers, you killed them. My comrades, my friends, you swept them aside in their dozens, as though they were nothing to you. Except that we kind of ran past everyone and left them alive. But that's just how Praetorium runs go these days, I'm just saying. And maybe I am too, just another faceless enemy to be cut down. But it won't be long until our countrymen return, until you get what you deserve, mark my words. Did you learn anything of note? Yeah, they hate my guts. Then your findings are consistent with my own. Their plight is desperate indeed. The sick and injured are at greatest risk. Without warmth and proper nutrition, I fear they will soon perish. I realize there is precious little we can do for them at present, but I cannot bear to see them suffer. Please, will you help me tend to them? Who's there? My eyes, I can't see all that well. Thank you. The numbness has subsided a little. But I know I won't last much longer. You should look to the others who can still fight. Give them my ration. If me going hungry means someone else lives to see another day, so be it. At least I can still serve in that way. Those you met fare no better? I was afraid you would say that. I know we were warned against meddling in their affairs, but we can't leave them like this. Perhaps we might gain permission to have a contingent deliver supplies. Quintus may have made his feelings on the matter quite clear, but even he must recognize they are not in the position to refuse help. Maybe Julius can persuade him, though we'd need to persuade Julius first. Well, seen enough. Julius, the people here have barely enough food and fuel to survive. Have you and the other soldiers been able to procure any more supplies? We've been scavenging provisions from nearby houses, as most families kept some stored away in the event we were snowed in. Still, going out and getting it is dangerous work, and we've a lot of mouths to feed. Fuel is the greater concern, though. We had ceruleum set aside until it was stolen. We haven't identified the culprit. Could have been other refugees. It could have been the afflicted, for all we know. Either way, we are down to the last dregs. Without the heating they need, those in poor health are only going to get worse instead of better. If it's ceruleum you need, our contingent has secured a ready supply. We can have some sent over. We will not accept your charity. If we can if we can hold on a little longer, the situation is sure to change. Aye, everything will change. Those mysterious countrymen of yours, I assume? Heard something of it, have you? Well, from what I've seen, there's little you could do to interfere, so there's no harm in telling you. One of our scouts spotted a hooded man issuing instructions to the afflicted, or in the bastard's words, loyal servants of the Tolafaroi. Then he made his way inside the Imperial Palace, or what stands in its place. We'd identified the seat of the enemy's power, we realized. Lord Quintus dispatched a messenger to the 10th Legion saying as much, and instructing them to join forces with the provincial legions, to prepare for a combined assault on the Tolafaroi. Once our allies arrive, your contingent will be sent running for the hills. Then we shall reclaim the capital by our own hand. And how do you intend to survive in the meantime? At this rate, many of your countrymen will perish long before reinforcements reach Garlemald. They need help now. Say the word and we will bring you the ceruleum. I will speak with Lord Quintus. So, did he agree to it? No, he will not place Garlemald in the debt of her enemies. I have, however, been ordered to search for ceruleum outside. As you are under my watch, you will come with me. Very well. After all, many hands make light work. You lot are more trouble than you're worth. Once we are outside, you will follow my instructions to the letter. We depart shortly. I've actually reached the point where I can't do anymore because it's level 83. Oh boy. Alright, well, let's go back and do the side quests, and maybe that'll... actually, that might not push me there. Alright, I guess I get to do a quick run of Tower of Zot. Hope you don't mind. You're gonna sit and watch me do this because it's freaking early in the morning. I want to get at least a little bit of a session in, no matter what. So I'm just gonna run through this real fast. You can watch me do Gunbreaker in a dungeon before I do Gunbreaker in a later dungeon. Whee! Oh, right. That's what I'm missing. How embarrassing. It's early in the morning. Can you blame me for forgetting my tank stance? His effects are so bright. Spring yet again. Boss. Continuing upward. I've run this dungeon a few times now. I did it to get this, to get Gunbreaker to 82. Probably should have run it at least one more time than I did, but I was impatient, dang it. monsters, whatever they are. Also, this gives you a chance to see what the dialogue between these three sans Thancred. So, you know, I guess it all works out in the end for me having to do this run another time. I really wish I didn't have to, but reasons. Enemies are so tanky. Still farther. Should be boss time? Yes, boss time. Okay.
Underestimate me!
to avoid that, if there even is a way. Alright. This madness. Yes.
Let's give them a show! Let's give them a show!
Okay, that's part 2. Now off to final boss. Of course, this means I won't have time to do the next dungeon, but can't be helped, I guess. If my mic is picking up that security alarm. It would amuse me if it was. This should get me to the level, though. Should. This way, everything.
You underestimate me.
Everything. I'm the tasty one.
You cannot stop us!
Alright, down to final boss, which is 3 enemies, hooray! And you'll probably get to see Alice's new LB3. Alright.
You underestimate me!
Alright.
Let's give them a show.
Thunder. Right, circles. got her down. There was Alice's new limit break too. Did that get me my level? Not quite. Alright. We're gonna have to run off and do those side quests. That should get it for me. So close and yet so far. Alright. We'll do as many side quests as it takes to get the level, and then we'll come back. So I am less than 300k short. So hopefully the side quest should do it. Look at these weirdo cars. Aside from the fact that they are, of course, covered in frost now, but they're just so weird and boxy. Alright. Perpetually perturbed. Hey, Svinian and Sigurd and Amanelane. And Guidelot and Sanson are hanging out over there. Meat kebab. I know how to make one of those. Alright, this should do it for me. There's my level. I'm going to have to do a few runs of Zot as Dancer to get it caught up. Only like 2 though. I'm like halfway through level 82 for Dancer, so shouldn't be too much trouble. Why are the deer aggressive? Deer are supposed to be timid things that run away. Alright. Without our healing magics, there's little we can do for these people beyond offer words of encouragement, but this way we'll be able to offer them tangible assistance. Although this is hardly the situation we had in mind, it will have to suffice for the time being. We will begin our search for ceruleum in Regio Urbanissima. The first location is Forum Soleus, a park to the northwest of the station. You're to remain close at all times and only act as ordered. Follow me. Not what I meant to do. Oops. This is the place. To think this macabre graveyard for war machina was once a park. So this is the park. I'm surprised they found space for one amongst all these buildings. Actually, the recreational areas came first. The houses were later built around them. A healthy society requires communal spaces for children to play and adults to socialize. The park was named after the founding father of the empire, the great Solus Galvus. Did we come to extract ceruleum from the wrecked Magitek armor? No, we've already drained it dry. The same goes for the rest of the machina in the vicinity. But as our ceruleum has been stolen, we must scour the city for every last drop. And while I don't expect to find anything here, I decided to try one more time in case something has been overlooked. I see. Then with your permission, we will commence the search. Inspection of wrecked Magitek armor confirms that the fuel canisters have long since been drained of ceruleum, as Julius said. Though rather small by Garlean standards, the structure is reminiscent of a merchant stall. Perhaps it was built for children to play at shopkeeper. There is nothing inside resembling Magitek or any other devices that would be fueled by ceruleum. This, whatever it is, appears to have been some sort of symbolic meaning relating to this park. Even though the place is named after Solus, it doesn't seem to be a statue of him. Well, at least not anymore. Maybe it was once a fountain, or somewhere the man himself used to sit. Not that it would matter, even if we knew, but I can't help but wondering. Not sure where Alphino is. There he is. Julius ignores you as he stares at the water in silence, as if searching for something he knows has gone and will never return. I don't imagine there would be much need for Magitek in a park of all places, but then again I wasn't raised in Garlemald. They may have had uses for ceruleum I've yet to consider. Swings are frozen stiff, swings are frozen stiff. The contraption is built in the style of Imperial war machina, armed with a battery of weapons capable of transforming into different configurations, but on closer inspection it appears to be no more than a child's slide. Several points of interest are marked on the map of Forum Soleus. The pond, children's play areas. To your knowledge, however, none would require the use of ceruleum. Oh, it's you. Any luck? There's no sign of any ceruleum. Hardly surprising, but disappointing nonetheless. I couldn't help noticing you gazing at the pond. Is something the matter? What? Yes. I mean, no, It's just, I used to bring my brother and sister to play here. The pond was heated to stop it from freezing over, so like all the other children, they just had to wade in and splash about. Would have stayed there if I didn't drag them out. They'd be sopping wet when all was said and done. Every time. And every time when we'd get home, Mother would scold us, saying we'd catch our death walking around like that. The pond was heated. With a cerulean-powered heater, by chance. I suppose it must have been. Come to think of it, I remember seeing engineers changing out a tank beneath the hatch. But that was a long time ago, when the water still flowed clear and wasn't this brackish muck. We can't see a thing, and I can't remember where the hatch might be. With the machinery most likely broken, the amount of filth in there is probably the reason it hasn't frozen over. I'd wager it's still unbearably cold, though. Julius, what are your thoughts on magic? The average Garlean would jump out of their skin if they saw it, but the first had a few foreign signiferi and medici, so it doesn't scare me. Then I take it you won't mind if I employ a little now. Alphino, as you have a knack for finding dry wood, why don't you bring me some? Once it's done, a blast of air fire should do the trick. Leave it to me. You're not planning to go in there, are you? Of course I am. That tank isn't going to fetch itself. It's nothing so involved as extracting unprocessed ceruleum from a frozen lake like how the tappers do it. We're talking about a shallow pond in a park, and we have a way of warming ourselves up after. But that's insane! So, fancy a dip? A little friendly competition. This time we need to see you catching a cold. Step aside while I drink the pond dry. That way we'll find it in no time. Oh, goodness. Alright, competition. Last one to find the cerulean tank is a rotten egg, though I dare say we'll both smell like rotten eggs when this is over. Can't believe what I'm seeing. You delve into the murky water, but come up empty-handed. To add injury to insult, the icy wind on your damp clothing chills you to the bone. Gods be good, it's cold! Perhaps we should have listened to Julius after all. You delve into the murky water, chilled to the bone. Beneath the water, your fingers catch something you think might be a handle. You open the hatch and retrieve the ceruleum tank. Hooray! And I am also very cold. Now shiver. However, your grand discovery comes at great personal cost as you become acutely aware of the freezing cold and rancid odor emanating from every ilm of your body. Julius will doubtless feel compelled to pinch his nose shut when you deliver him your prize. Wee, I'm stinky. And very cold. Did you find anything? I hope you did. 1 tank of ceruleum at your service. And that's it. And there's still some ceruleum left. The fire is still not ready. Hold on, I'll give Alphino a hand. Call me an ill done, because by fire I am reborn, and my clothes are mostly dry now, too. I appreciate you recovering the ceruleum, but I wish you'd taken the time to discuss the plan with me beforehand. Despite the way you've been treated, in Lord Quintus's eyes you're still envoys deserving of protection. If you were to die on my watch, he would be most displeased. Your concern is duly noted, but all's well that ends well. Julius, you mentioned coming here with your younger siblings. Did you grow up in Garlemald? I did, not far from here. My father was an accomplished researcher in his youth, and for his contributions to the Empire, awarded an estate. We lived well, better than many. What was Garlemald like in those days? Everything. It was everything you could imagine, and so much more. Even during the coldest winters, we always found warmth and comfort at home. Coming in from the snow, taking off your coat, and sitting down for a hot meal with family. Visiting friends and relatives, receiving that same welcome, knowing they had everything they needed. Walking down the street, seeing the lights in all the houses, hearing the faint sounds of laughter and song, of happiness. And although the summers came and went all too quickly, in that brief respite the ice would melt and the forgotten grass would make its triumphant return. Gray clouds gave way to blue skies. Some mornings we'd climb atop the tallest buildings we could to find and watch the sunrise. Never again. Those rooftops are rubble, those friends are dead, and those memories. But if I could reclaim even a fraction of what we once had. Soon our chance will come. We just need to hold on a little longer. Hearing him talk about that and knowing in the back of my mind what kind of childhood Xenos had, despite being a prince, he was given nothing and he was utterly alone. Just, it's almost unfair. Owing to the wealth of experience I've accrued gathering firewood, I was even able to provide Julius with some basic pointers on the subject. I thought it might help to further build a rapport and to distract him from his other concerns. Well, at least my clothes are finally dry, though they could still do with a proper wash. Alright, now that you've recovered from your escapeheads in the pond, there's another location I'd like to search just outside the park. Everything was built on an enormous scale with thick, cleanly cut stone, much like Amarat. Given what we now know, such similarities are no coincidence. True enough, true enough. Emmett never could let go of those memories. The War Machina appears to be patrolling the area of its own volition. I wonder whether it is simply following its original orders or if it now serves the Telafroi. As you can see, this place is littered with the remnants of various types of war machina. While my comrades and I have already recovered the tanks from the less damaged units, those that took more severe beating are harder to scavenge. We decided to save those for another time, that time being now. Rather than prise them apart piece by piece, it would be quicker to remove the outer casing using compact explosives. With luck, we'll gain access to the tanks without rupturing them. Though the force generated by these devices is relatively weak, I would advise you to stand well clear to avoid being hit by any shrapnel. But even before even bothering though, you should check the Machina's ceruleum gauge to see if there's any left. It should still provide an accurate reading even when the unit itself is inactive. If the gauge is broken, I'll let you decide whether to use an explosive or not. Should you need more, come to me. Understood, let's get to work. According to ceruleum gauge, this unit's fuel tank is empty. Appears to have been broken, giving you no way to determine how much fuel its tank may hold. Alright, I'll check this one later. Let's see what else we can find first. Appears to have been broken. Okay, I guess we'll just have to try our luck and see. Successfully removing the war machina's outer casing, retrieving the ceruleum tank, find it to be completely empty. Of course. Can't be lucky, can we? Appears to have been broken. Fuel tank is empty. Are those the only options? It's not going to give us a gauge whether or not there's any ceruleum in it. You retrieve the war machina's ceruleum tank to find it's still half full, or half empty, depending on one's perspective. Either way, Julius will surely be pleased by your discovery. Alright. More explosives. Wait, is that what I think it is? More ceruleum for you, sir. You've done it again. Truly, luck is on your side. With this, we should be able to refuel quite a few of our heaters. It's time we headed back. Wait here while I go and see how Alice and Alphino are faring.
Finally escaped the watchful gaze of your keepers, have we?
Tancred, don't reveal yourself, please.
Don't react. You'll only draw attention to yourself. Just carry on as you are and listen. After you left with the Garlean lad, Lucia bade a few of us scouts follow you at a discreet distance. We observed you being led into the station, but decided against venturing inside. When you emerged sometime later, and we saw that the twins were sporting Magitech collars, it was clear what had taken place. Now, as quietly as you can, tell me everything.
We're trying to help them.
The Legatus himself, eh? Now there's a surprise. This is also the first I've heard of a plan to join forces with the 10th and storm the Tower of Babel.
I still can't get over that stupid name.
Development, and perhaps the opportunity we've been waiting for. Our comrades back at the camp also received some rather promising news. but it's still too early to get our hopes up. For now, keeping yourselves out of harm's way comes before all else. Whatever demands the Garleans make, indulge them. With luck, this will all be over soon. Until then.
Thanks, Tancred.
They had not gone far.
We searched high and low, but no luck, I'm afraid. I might have guessed you'd be the only one to find anything.
Yeah, that's sort of the way it runs with me.
I wasn't expecting much to begin with. Eventually, there will be nothing left out here for us to safely salvage. For now, this will have to suffice. We should return to the station.
Ah, there you are. Heard you'd gone hunting for ceruleum above ground. Brought back a king's ransom?
Decent amount.
Hardly. But thanks to these three, we have enough to last a little while longer.
Well, well. It's not at all as I was expecting, these ones. For savages, they seem positively docile.
Twitch, twitch, twitch. Only one person's allowed to call me a savage.
It's a poor attempt at humour. In all honesty, I'm grateful for your efforts. But even with another night of warmth, there are those among us who may not live to see the morrow.
I trust your expedition was fruitful.
Lord Quintus!
Use what you procured to refuel the armor.
But, sir, what about the heaters for the camp?
The time for action is upon us. My men and I have matters to discuss. In the meantime, you are to wait here. Do not forget, you are being watched.
The time for action. What did he mean by that?
I can only speculate. Clearly something requiring their magitech, given what we just heard. Whether they plan to utilize it now, or after they join with the 10th, is another question.
That dress really is popular, this expansion.
Will they ever escape this cult? Return to and reclaim the idyllic spaces of which Euless spoke?
Euless, not Julius. Okay.
Finished your war, Council?
Alphino and Alize are to stay here, as our prisoners. They will be released once your comrades have relinquished their supplies and withdrawn from Garlean soil. Until our terms are met, they will be detained at a separate location.
After everything we've said and done, this is how you treat us.
Our allies have but limited supplies. They may stave off cold and starvation for a short while, but what then?
For now, keeping yourselves out of harm's way comes before all else. Whatever demands the Garleans make, indulge them.
Everything will be all right. Have faith.
Get them out of here.
And with that, I think that is all the time I have for today. I'll finish up this quest, or at least for this morning. Alpha and Alice say we'll be fine, providing they do not resist. Things are getting intense. I feel like we might be starting to approach the end of this current Garlemald session. I mean, who knows, really? But anyway. Oh boy. Especially since we are level 83 at this point, so we should be approaching the dungeon pretty soon. In the meantime, I'll be back later this afternoon, assuming I don't fall unconscious after work. Thank you all so much for watching. Never cease to be amazing, and bye for now.